So this is the sequence I was talking about on the film itself, where they walk along the Docklands Light Railway, and there used to be, as there is you'll see in this scene, a train which had been made up as a hospital, and we had plans to show them getting on the train, scavenging why they would go around looking round at it. But it was pouring down so much on the day, as you'll see at one moment in this sequence where the camera pans left. You'll see it outside how wet it is and flogging it down, that we couldn't do anything exterior, and we just had to try and do the sequence interior as it is.
All those windows.
There was some line where he said something like, "I know what you're thinking, you're looking at all the windows," or something, and there were no windows.
Yeah, that's right.
Just
all those people through those windows, eh? Person who owns this bag.
But it was a nice little. I kind of like the sequence really between
woman owned a Nissan
between the two of them, and I also love the idea that. Again, this retrospective idea of telling the story backwards, that there was evidence here that trains had been commandeered as Red Cross hospitals because of the carnage and disorder, I like that. Working things out backwards. And then he had a moment here with a mobile phone, really.
Just all things that had become redundant, like car keys and mobile phones, had a sort of residual...
And we never did the cutting, but it was meant to still, the battery was still live on it, so it was still...
No signal, it was going to say.
There was going to be no signal. So, or maybe we'd have put in something different, like there were satellites still circling the Earth, which they would be, of course. They'd still be up there. This is a completely different take on the way that this guy's killed. If you remember, he's... Killian re-enters the house, Jim re-enters the house by killing this man. This soldier Jones, played by Leo Bill, and we had a very different sequence, which you'll see, which is a storm of infected, or as many as we could afford anyway, lay siege to the house, and the end of the film is played out against the threat to each other, and also the threat from the infected finally getting over the landmines and getting into the house.
It was a substantial difference, and it brought the film more in line, in a way, with the genre, which is that at the end of this kind of story, you would really reintroduce the infected, or the zombies, or whatever you want to call them, attacking en masse.
Yeah.
And I remember...
That incidentally is my favourite shot in the whole film, and we did cut it, which you should always do with your favourite shot. That's my very favourite shot in the whole film.
And why did you cut it?
Just because it's my favourite shot. You should always cut your favourite shot.
Just sheer bloody-mindedness.
Bloody-mindedness, yeah. Sorry, carry on.
No, that was it. I just remember this was what we had the really huge arguments about.
Although I love this, and I would have loved to have kept this, that he has to kill his favourite.
Sure, I loved all of this stuff, and in a way I think I prefer multiple infected, which isn't just to do with, well, I don't know, prefer, I mean, they're different things, but a lot of these shots,
you love all this stuff, don't you?
I love it,
This is all the, hopefully you jump a lot with the sound as well, if you've got the sound right on it, and
I always liked this. I always liked
he's
closing the door,
and there's this it's Jenny Lush, which is this
just a nice moment.
Girl's called, separated between them, and she's kind of trying to eat the glass to get at him.
Hospital dream.
This
was an ending.
This was the proper ending, which is when we had no money, we went off and kind of shot this ourselves. And it's intercut with a kind of dream of Jim, of the accident that actually put Jim in the hospital at the beginning of the film. The accident that he has when he's as a bicycle courier, as you'll see later. But more importantly than that, I think, and that was in fact the director shouting "fuck off" to him there. I was playing an irate, road rage member of the London driving community. but more importantly was that the sequence in the hospital, and it was to do with the women really, and particularly Selena, Naomi's character, and the grief that the efforts that she makes to save him, the protracted efforts that she makes to save him, and the grief that she suffers when she doesn't save him. And she acts it absolutely brilliantly.
I always thought Megan acted this very well too.
And
They
Megan
just really inhabited the moment.
Yeah.
And it had my favourite shot, which was them walking down the corridor, but we haven't got there yet.
Yeah.
Picking up the guns, that's what I really liked. But this was an ending. This was the bleakest of our three, really.
So the idea of running through his mind as he kind of decays away, as they try and retrieve him, but as he decays away, as the accident comes back to him, really, the details of it, as he listens to the irate members of the London driving community screaming at each other, you know, the intolerance and kind of just...
This is where he lets go.
Yeah.
But you could cut this. I mean, maybe this is on the extras, I don't know. You can cut it without any of the dream
you
stuff
can.
as well.
Yeah, we just put it in so you could have it all together.
Right.
But this scene plays by itself, and I think her performance in it is really fantastic. And he's gone, really, as the young girl knows now.
And every time we showed that to someone, they were expecting him to cough and splutter and come back to life. So it really did work as as an ending that threw you, that people thought, you know, that's what happens. You get reanimated and come back.
But I mean, the realism of it is that she's a survivor, because despite her grief, when the young girl asks her what we're going to do, she does take responsibility.
Yeah.
And
but this was the problem. It's that in a way when the two of them are left, we always saw it that they're survivors and they're going to keep going in the way that they've kept going up to this point in the film. You've seen all the evidence for that. But people seem to feel that they were walking off to their doom.
yeah, that's right. People didn't get that they were...
I never quite...
That's obviously what people feel from it. I think it's because it's quite a hard journey that you're on.
This is what I love. I love it when she picks up this pistol, and that's why I think she would make it from this point.
Yeah, because
I sort of think there is hope here. It's to do with how tough these two girls are.
yeah. So he ends up back in the hospital where he started.
Yeah, and
It's a
then there's a
cycle.
full circle. Ends as it begins, really.
This was shot in an amazing deserted hospital in Greenwich, which they've closed because of infection. I think there were rumours that there were bugs in it they couldn't get rid of.
And the credits could have rolled right there.
So this was a very ambitious sequence and very expensive sequence that we cut, actually. You'll see traffic moving around in the background as well as our cab, so it's not been treated, if you like. So it's very untreated footage, this. And the idea was that they couldn't get out of London because it was blocked by carnage on the motorways, really. And so we shot these elements of it that you see, and we were going to do a lot of CG work on this, computer-generated work, to both remove traffic that's moving, as you'll see on this sequence, and add static, crashed cars, really. But we couldn't do it where we wanted to do it, which was on the main kind of A40 on the way out of London. And we had to do it in Croydon, which is a very small, elevated section, as you can see, just 2 lanes. And I remember when I saw this footage, even though I'd kind of, obviously, championed doing this sequence, I just thought it looked sad and pathetic, really, to be absolutely honest. And I thought, It's not epic, really, and it'll never be epic. And I wanted the film to have some kind of epic feel about it, really. So we cut it.
I miss it. I mean, it would have been great if it had worked, but...
This is a great sequence, which we cut just for compression reasons, really. I love this sequence.
A lot of the best stuff, a lot of really good stuff was cut from the end, and this is definitely one of them.
Where he nearly gets caught by Mailer and Clifton, who are kind of chasing him through the house, and you don't know quite where he's gone, really.
Well, maybe one day there'll be a director's cut.
I never really understand that, the director's cut, because really it's just, I think the DVDs have kind of made that nonsense, really. He's hiding under the floorboards, if anybody's not quite got it by now, because the sound probably isn't as the same. But that's where he's hiding there for a moment. And then he's got a great moment where he comes out. Love him coming out. Yeah, I don't understand that about director's cut, because DVDs, really, the deleted scenes, I suppose, are what constitute that.
And this, I'm amazed that we're including this in the extras. Surely we should be trying to hide this and pretend we never did it. No?
This is a scene where they where they just have a bit of fun driving the cab, really, and they start.
Oh fuck! I hate this so much. I suppose it's partly what these DVD extras are for, but yeah, it's just unspeakable. It's what edit suites are for, isn't it?
All I can say is that when you actually drive a taxi, you are kind of inexorably drawn to imitate taxi drivers in your behaviour, in the way you speak, in the kind of jokes you tell, in the kind of endless banter from the cab drivers. So that was the idea of it, anyway. And it was a discursion, really. And
it was a disgrace.
And we decided to drop it because it didn't add anything essential, really, that you needed, and we thought that we'd bound them together. There I go again, sufficiently.
God,
and it actually is true about Sweden, funnily enough.
Is there a fast forward button?
It's very difficult. Car stuff is always very difficult to visually look interesting, really, as well. It's quite difficult to cover, and especially on taxis with all that glass around, and it's a nightmare for the cameraman to light and like that, and to keep the energy up. Very difficult car scenes. This is some wee shots that we just dropped in, which haven't been treated, so there are lights on and traffic moving and things. Some footage, extra footage from London that we didn't include, just because a lot of people love the London stuff so much. We thought we'd leave a few bits and pieces in. As I said, this was meant to be a McDonald's truck with all the ingredients that would have been spun out of the back, scattered all over the road, but they withdrew permission, of course. They got wise to us. That was a fox, because there's foxes all over inner London now, and it's just a fox that had died. And this is Killian with an eye ache or something. Something got in his eye there. No, he's kind of... He used to go to sleep at that point and have a little snooze, because we thought he'd be knackered and he'd need to have a snooze. And this is just a couple of shots that were... that'll show you some of the problems, actually, that you were up against when you're filming in these areas. There you go. There's something that would have to be treated had it been included in the film. You would have to take out, obviously, the twirling McDonald's advert, if you like.